Pop Talk is where it's at, baby.
The following content contains adult language and humor that is not suitable for viewers under the age of 18. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. The views and opinions expressed during the following video content are those of the individual and may not reflect those of others. Thank you.
Respect my authority!
Oh, how it pains me to do this.
Wait, I still function.
Wanna bet?
No foreshadowing there, is there?
Not at all.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, one and all. Welcome to another exciting episode of Pop Talk 414, the Wednesday edition. And yes, the credits did lie to you. Mike is not with us today. A little touchy situation there. Something about a practical joke that we may have been involved that went wrong. You see, Mike doesn't want this information to come out, but it's going to come out here. He works at the Andy Griffith Museum, Pancake House, and Barbershop in his town of Mayberry. And we knew somebody there. And we did a practical joke. That person planted some stuff on Mike, and then we had the police called, and he was taken away. He was taken away by the only female police officer, by the way, that they have in that town. But the bad news is that cop looks like Aunt B, So, and won't everyone be pissed off when they find out that contraband is catnip that we had on there? So, expect.
Oh no! And he also kept yelling that he's an Autobot too.
Something like that. So yeah, Janet, Animos, expect to get phone calls here for being replacements, because I'm sure once he gets out of the Hooskow next to Otis there, Cash and I are in trouble. So, but no, he's taking a well-deserved day off. He's plotting and planning for his next Mad Max. Actually, he is getting a 1971 Gremlin ready to race in that game. So that'll be exciting to see. So he's kind of moving up in the world. So, so it's just going to be Cash and I. We're going to be the Pirates tonight. So let's see if we can keep the ship afloat. I don't know if there's a hole in there. It's your job to put your finger in the hole, Cash.
Right.
Okay. Because I'm the captain. Arr, I'm the king, the pirate king of Pop Talk. Arr. Arr. But even though. Time for mutiny. Yeah, exactly. We already had one. Mike's not here.
Yeah, well,
Mike's
you
not
might have
here,
to have
man.
another one.
Yeah, there you go. But don't think about trying to do the catnip in the coat trip there. God, I hope they didn't do a strip search or a body cavity search on him. Oh, thinking of Ampy doing that before, he'll be really pissed off, man. But so even though our esteemed host is not with us tonight, it doesn't mean we're not going to have our latest episode of Beverly Hills 414. From the hardworking man himself, Big Daddy Key-Gap Steve, also known as Keycap from CryptoCoin. So
that's right.
So previously on Beverly Hills 414. Barron was mildly concerned. It wasn't that his car had been rigged with C4, or so he had been told, but more he was stuck having to go over 35 miles per hour and running low on gas. He also was starting to run out of city streets to stay on and was getting further and further out into the countryside. At least that limited the police risk of pulling him over for speeding. 35 miles an hour, that's speeding. I mean, if I'm over 35 miles an hour, I mean, a lot of towns have 45, 55, just don't go through school zones.
Children present, like 25, but no, 35 is not bad.
Yeah, 35 is not bad. No. So, thinking of the police made Barron chuckle and his brain distract him with thoughts of what Mike could mean by a confiscated bagel. See, notice how this kind of ties into Mike's predicament right now. Mm-hmm. It was a coping mechanism, and he knew it. Okay, think, Barron, think. No, not about boobs. Save those thoughts for later, he said aloud to keep his mind focused on it. There would be a way out of this. He knew it. Oops. In the movie Speed, they had driven around in an abandoned runway, but they had a bunch of civilians to unload. He was just himself. Sandra Bullock. Oh. No. Bad Bear. Keep focused.
She still looks good.
The problem.
Yes.
Yes, she does. Oh, yeah. In a heartbeat. The problem was over 35 miles an hour was still fast enough to probably kill him if he tried to jump it, but slow enough that he kept considering it. I just would roll, tuck and roll, and I'd really roll. Isn't that what they have for the Cotton Council, the tuck and roll show? Or I don't know. He kept looking at the speedometer when he had a thought. How would the explosives know when the car dropped below 35? They had to be rigged to something. I can't drive 35. Oh, sorry, Sonny Hager. Got distracted. Sorry. He wasn't thinking when he took his emergency escape tool and he used the hammer part to smash the plexiglass covering his display panel. This probably wouldn't work, but he had to try. Well, I'm glad it's not a digital display. Pulling onto a stretch of highway, he pulled out his "This alert light annoys me" electrical tape and slapped a piece of it right over the speedometer needle to hold it at 55. Well, here goes nothing, Barron said as he made sure the needle held even as he let off the gas to decelerate. His brain turned back to Sandra Bullock. Oh. So at least he'd die. If he died, he'd go with a smile. It'd be even better if I was with her, but that's beside the point. I don't want her blown up, though. Crypto waited in line, humming to himself. Mm-hmm. Do you hum to yourself?
Not usually. Sometimes.
Not usually? Okay. So I suppose this is one of the times because, looking over the menu and smelling all the wonderful smells of cooked roast beef and fried things that fill the air. Now I can see you humming there, but even if it's not tofu and kale.
I can't really smell tofu. But...
I don't know. I watched that on NHK. I mean, the Japanese, they're big tofu eaters, and there's a lot of interesting things they do with tofu over there. You really should tune in and watch that. You get some recipe ideas. Your family will thank you. Finally, it was his turn, and he stepped forward with those coupons in hand and grinned his most charming grin. Free things always put him in a good mood. Didn't always have to be food.
All right, I'll continue some of this.
Oh,
yes. That's a little bit. That's fine. Since it's supposed to be my part, I'll read 2 or 3 of these. Yes, I would like to get the free curly fries, triple stack roast beef sliders, and heck, the large milkshake as he offered them out. The clerk looking at the coupons and blinking. Sir, this is a Wendy's, he said, and only cracked a grin when Crypto started to look around, wondering if he had in fact walked into the wrong place. I kid. I always wanted to say that. All right, I'll read one more and then I'll let you continue.
Okay.
Sure, fine, okay, Crypto said while thinking, wise ass, wondering how someone could always have wanted to say something when the meme was only a year or 2 old. What the heck? Okay,
I've always wanted to say that. Sir, Wendy's. And what meal did you want to order for your stay? The clerk asked, and Crypto tilted his head. The curly fries are with a regular sandwich, please. The triple stack is buy one, get one. The clerk continued explaining how the free milkshake was an upgrade to a small milkshake. And Crypto's body went numb. He had overlooked the purchase part.
Dun, dun, dun.
They always have that, though. There's always purchase thing. There's no such thing as a free lunch. They wanted him to do the unthinkable. They wanted him to spend money. Not just found money, but his own money. But the deals really were good ones. But spending his money... For a hot minute, he debated just walking away. But the clerk still had the coupons. Coupons, but I like saying coupons. So he'd be at a loss if he did. Plus, the line behind him put societal pressure to hurry up and order. Oh, okay. You do that. Are you getting enough sun? You look a little pale, Officer Hot Pants said to Mike, as his thoughts raced along with the sudden golden opportunity. A golden opportunity dropped in his lap. Where is it? Where's that come? I lost it on you, folks. Boy, see, it's just. Can you imagine if Mike was here? It wouldn't be this. There we go. I don't know why things moved on me. I think it's Crypto's fault. This could be his one chance to have something else drop in his lap as well. If he sucked up the courage and asked, the worst she could say is no, right? Well, no. That part of his brain started thinking. The worst she could do was laugh in his face, call him a pig, and proceed to reissue all those tickets he had talked himself out of. Well, that'd be a first. A cop calling another person a pig. We're living bizarro world, folks, really. Our worst he could do, or the worst you could do, no, don't continue down this rabbit hole. It was akin to someone saying they were your worst nightmare, and your brain thinks of worse nightmares. He wasn't going to bite. Well, not in the bad way. Maybe in the good way if he's lucky. But she's off work and ready to relax. There isn't much of a better chance to ask her out. Besides, it's only lunch. It's not like it's a classy dinner where you'd both have to dress up and pretend you know something about wine to impress her and spend far too much. I think she's worth it. Have you had lunch yet? Mike asked suddenly, before his brain could shut his mouth. He wasn't even certain he had said it until afterwards. His heart, or elseways, colluding with his mouth. Well, technically no. Since I was on the swing shift, I had my lunch at, breakfast time. So this would be dinner time, she said, a little hesitant given the sudden change of topic. Well, see, I woke up with a pretty big craving for some Italian food and was going to go get that here, like soon. And well, if you were hungry, maybe you'd want to, join me. Ah, I see. It's the old Lady and the Tramp spaghetti routine he's trying to get in there. This was it. The moment of truth. He had said the words. They had come out of his mouth and were in the air. There was no taking them back now. Will Barron's makeshift MacGyver plan on how to keep his car from blowing up and sending him into orbit work? Or will he lament he never learned how to bake key lime pie? I never in my day wanted to make key lime pie. Gap, come on. Can Crypto Coin bring himself to spend money even on such an amazing deal? Or will he point at the ceiling and yell, "Please Comet!" and run like a madman? What will Officer Hot Pants say to Mike's question? Will this be the start of something wonderful, or will Mike dine alone on tear-soaked ravioli? Stay tuned as Beverly 414 continues after these messages from T-Gap Steve's Merkin Mercantile. That's right, Merkin Mercantile. If you're bald down there, well, he's got the hair. Back to you, Cash. Wait a moment. I'm in charge now. Back to me. So that was this exciting episode of Beverly Hills 414. And if you don't like it, well, talk to T-Gap. We're still trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Really, we are. Oh, so we got that out of the way. Anything you want to say before we dive into the meat of things? Before we get that nasty phone call from Mike saying, "Ha ha ha, funny joke, guys, catnip." Really?
No, a lot of talk about food in this episode. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I ate beforehand. I was
Key
and
lime
now I'm
pie.
hungry again. I mean, if it's banana cream pie, man, that's my weakness, man. Even more so than chocolate or French silk.
What about coconut cream pie, though, too?
I don't like. I only if Marianne would make it. I'm not a coconut guy. I don't really like coconut. But if Marianne
would make it,
only if Marianne. Do you think I would disappoint her? No,
you can't disappoint her or Ginger.
No,
certainly not Marianne.
No, Ginger. If Ginger offered me coconut cream pie, I might pass. But if it's Marianne, right there, boom. I'm sorry, the girl next door. Yeah. So I heard some. I heard some surprising news. I didn't find out until Monday. We had something called the Oscars happening. I don't know if anybody else heard about that or not, and I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. I did not know.
Yeah, surprising
that the Oscars happened.
Surprising the ratings were actually up a little bit this year. That is actually surprising. They were?
Yeah. How bad was Jimmy? How bad was he?
Well, there had to be the orange man made a tweet and he had to read it. He was told not to, but things like that.
Of course. No.
I just he's one of these, woke people. I don't know. But he is. Pandering, whatever you want to call it. And I don't know. It was okay. He did take a shot at Madam Web, which I actually thought was pretty funny. But overall, just from what I saw, it was, that's easy. We need hosts making fun of people again, like they're supposed to. But no, they play it safe.
Yeah.
This has been going on for a number of years. This is one of the reasons the Oscars, the awards, as I always say, are fine. The awards are usually fine, Baron, but the presenters, the hosts can be a problem because they won't make jokes. Even when Seth MacFarlane hosts, he made a boob joke. It offended people, but who cares? He took chances. I know, right? He took chances.
Well, what was it? Which one did Ricky Gervais do again?
The Globes.
The
Golden
Globes.
Yes, he was very funny.
We go.
Yes.
There we go. I mean, he came out with knife. No one was safe. He made a lot of people in that audience squirm. I tell you what. Yep. And and he didn't care. That's what I like about it. I mean, I'm not a big Ricky Gervais fan, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, he can be very funny, but yeah.
Yeah. yeah, it doesn't mean that there aren't moments of brilliance, and the Golden Globes is brilliant. It's like here's my one shot. I know I'll never be invited back anyway. So,
But then he says that, and then he's invited back. That's what's also funny too, is people.
yeah. Didn't you see me last time? Did you see? Yeah, but that's just it. What you were saying about like John Cleese and all that. Making these jokes. It's like you guys are supposed to be comedic geniuses. Why do you take the easy route out? You're supposed to give us a little bit. Be a little more original. That's what we expect from you, not the tired same old stuff, man. But I think what they need next year is to have Adam Carolla. Adam Carolla should do it next year.
They won't have him, unfortunately.
I know they won't. But I mean, if we have one from the Man Show, they should have the other from the Man Show.
It would be great. I'm sure Adam would just rip Hollywood and rip other things to shreds. They could have also have that guy on who got strong ratings for SNL recently and took some shots and offended people. You need people on there. I mean, even Chris Rock wasn't bad. Of course, that whole thing with Will Smith, but no, Kimmel will usually play it safe, and then for some reason we also had John Cena. He lost the bet, so he had to come out there covering just his junk and so on. But other people said, does this guy do anything for attention? I don't know. Maybe he does. Who knows? I'm not sure.
I saw the picture of John Cena before I knew that the Oscars took place on Monday. I'm going, what the hell is this with John Cena? It's like, what publicity is this? And it's like, oh, this is Oscars. I see. I'm proud of myself. This is the first year ever. First year I didn't know about the Oscars until after it. So I did a good job staying away from the media, the typical media.
At least Oppenheimer won a bunch of awards, and I hear Emma Stone is really good in Poor Things. So yeah.
But you are Christopher Nolan simp, so of course you.
I mean, I'm a big fan of his, but even I'll criticize things that I don't like of his. Man, I'm not gonna leave. Yeah.
You worship the gun. Hey, this was the 96th Academy Award. Wow, what's going to happen in 4 years? If the world hasn't blown up by then.
Yeah, but remember, as we always say, Baron, even if somebody you love and you respect, you have every right to criticize them when you think they're messing up. So that Nolan does not get off the hook either.
You don't get off the hook. You're just Mike. I'm right there, but you can't criticize me.
That's right.
That's where I draw the line. Yeah, honestly, you can't.
Too late.
So we do have. Yeah, so we're segueing. You see how we segued into this? We have our first story tonight from Cosmic Book News. Oscars 2024 winners: Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan, Robert Downey Jr., who ever since he went on that vegan diet, looks like he's back doing drugs. I mean, I'm sorry.
You think so? I don't know. He looks pretty healthy. I don't know. Does it vegan diet? I mean, he might be on.
I mean, he doesn't look like Tony Stark no more. That's for sure. And we do
have to compare, but yeah, maybe not.
Yeah. Just that's what happens. You get married, and we'll check out the list of the winners of the 96th Academy Awards, which were held Sunday night. Much to my surprise. The summary: Oppenheimer won 7 Oscars, including Best Picture, Director, and Original Score. Ooh. Robert Downey Jr. won his first Oscar for his role in Oppenheimer as Lewis Strauss. He should have gotten it for was that the Pacific? No, that movie where he was the Australian that was playing a black dude. He should have gotten it for that one. The full list of 2024 Oscar winners can be found below, including winners for actor, actress in a leading, supporting, animated feature film, and more. Ooh. Okay, so Sunday night at the 96th Academy Awards saw Oppenheimer win big taking home 7. Okay, let's try this again. Sunday night at the 96th Academy Awards saw Oppenheimer win big, taking home 7 Oscars, including big wins for Christopher Nolan, Cicely Murphy. What's that?
Uh,
Cillian?
Cillian Murphy. Yeah.
Yep.
Is it
And
Killian?
Robert,
Maybe it's Killian Murphy. I think it's Killian.
oh, Killian Murphy? Okay. See, even without Mike, we'll butcher up the names. And Robert Downey Jr.
No, we can get him right. I think. Yeah. Maybe it is Cillian.
Eventually.
I think it is Cillian.
I have no idea. All right. I mean, hey, this is your film. You should know. No. So Oppenheimer won for Best Picture, Director, Actor in the leading role, Original Score, Cinematography, Film Editing, and Actor in a supporting role. Robert Downey Jr., which is the big story, about this all, won his first Oscar with his third time being nominated. Really, he should have gotten it for Chaplin because he did such a good job in that one. Here's my little secret. I needed this job more than it needed me. Chris Nolan knew it. Emma Thomas made sure she surrounded me with one of the great casts and crew of all time. Emily, Killian, Matt Damon.
Yeah, it is Killian. I just checked it. It is Killian. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, sir. And Blunt. It was fantastic. And I stand here before you a better man because, my God, who does the editor? Because of it, said Downey Jr. What we do is meaningful, and the stuff we decide to make is important. Yeah, well,
it can be. I mean, stuff like Oppenheimer is important, yes, but other stuff depends. Depends.
Plus, he made sure he was on set for every time Blunt was naked in there, or not Blunt, but who's that one?
Oh, you're talking about
Peel or whatever? Yeah.
You're
I
talking
can't remember.
about
Yeah. You all know what we're talking about. He continued back to my publicist, my agent Philip Raskin, and Andrew Dunlap, and my dead mother Joy Faley. Thank you very much. I'm going to thank my stylist in case no one else does. Thank Erica so much. Thank you very much. And I'm going to say this. My entertainment lawyer, Tom Hansen, of 40 years, half of which he tried getting me insured and bailing me out of the Hooskow. Thanks, bro. Check out the full list below.
Yeah, it was Florence Pugh.
Yeah, Florence Pugh. Yeah, he made sure he was on this. He Pugh, Nikki. I don't blame him. I would too. Check out the full list where Godzilla -1 also won big. So yeah, he had a situation where the prequel and the sequel both won big at the Oscars. Cillian Murphy won actor and leading role for Oppenheimer. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to go through the nominees.
No,
you got Bradley Cooper and Paul Giamatti, some quality actors in there. Actor in supporting role, of course, Robert Downey Jr. Of course, you had, Robert De Niro, even though that he's a pipsqueak, but he's still a good actor. Ryan Gosling,
really good actor, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you think Mark Ruffalo deserved? I mean, I don't.
I heard he was really good in Poor Things. So yeah, okay. The guy can act. It's just, can he act like more of a human being? That's what I would like.
Well, I never, watched him.
I know you didn't like him as Hulk. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, and that's before I heard him open his mouth either. So I don't know. I tried. Honestly, I tried. This is actress in the lead role for Poor Things. It was Emma Stone. Of course, she was up against Annette Bening. So that was kind of a big name there. Actress in supporting role, Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers.
Randolph, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just saw that recently. Really good drama, man. So it has some good comedy in it. Highly recommend. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, of course, she was up against Emily Blunt and America Ferrera and Jodie Foster. So there's a
it's there's some big names. Yes.
Mm-hmm. The animated film, I don't think this is really that much of a surprise. I would have actually been a little upset if it wasn't. But The Boy and the Heron. That got it. Mm-hmm. I mean, it beat out Elemental.
Elemental shouldn't even be nominated, but whatever. I don't think that's up there with the high quality of Pixar, but
yeah,
I still need to watch.
But how it is.
Yeah.
And of course, Spider-Man Across the Pandaverse, which I would have been upset if they got it. If that they would have won that over the Boy and the Heron, because you just take a look at that.
I don't think they
animation.
deserve it. I don't personally think that deserves to be nominated, though it has some amazing animation. I just think some of the story, man, is just a mess. But we'll watch the first one sometime, Baron.
Oh yeah, Spider-Man,
Across the Spider-Verse. We'll watch the first one and you'll see, because in the second one, like, I know Crit and other people are like, no, you're not, you don't know what you're talking about. I don't agree with you, which is fine. But the first story was just way better, I think. And some of this, yes, there was a bit of pandering in this. That wasn't the main problem. There was just some other characters I felt, and some of the story. And then, spoiler alert, the evil Miles thing, because we need to have more of that multiverse stuff, and Sony wants to do that too. It's like, we have the Spider-Verse, but now we need also the multiverse too, where he goes into another world and then he sees an evil Miles. I didn't like that personally, man. I thought that was cheap.
So. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I thought bits and pieces of the first one, but I was working at the time, so you know how it is. You get interrupted and such, so didn't necessarily get a chance to really watch it per se. But it looked interesting. It looked interesting, but no, when you're talking about what would you say, the beauty of the artwork and such, I would say The Boy and the Heron, and being that, well, I don't know, is it really going to be his last film?
We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing rumbles that he's doing it, and he's out there complaining about CGI, computer doing animation. Oh, that thing.
I can't blame him. Yeah.
So, cinematography, we do have a winner, of course, Oppenheimer. And really, I mean, you had Poor Things, Killer of a Flower Moon, but, I think Oppenheimer definitely was in that. Just a second, I got a question to ask here. And what we have here for costume design, Poor Things got it. Holly Waddington. I hope I said the name right. Of course, nominees, of course, Barbie, Flower Moon, Napoleon.
Is it Waddington?
Wadding? Okay, Waddington?
Might have been Waddington,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Waddington. Of course, and that's a respectable list. Barbie, Flower Moon, Napoleon, definitely, and Oppenheimer. For directing, Your Hero, Christopher Nolan, got it.
I don't know about a hero, but I like a lot of his work.
And of course, Scorsese again. He gets the Shaft.
It's okay. I do recommend watching Killers of the Flower Moon, though. It is a very interesting story. Yes.
Of course, we got the nominees. I don't know if people really care, but we have 20 Days in Mariupol.
That's something that happened in Ukraine. That's a documentary in Ukraine. Yeah.
Okay. I figured one. And then you had Bobby Wine, The People's President, Eternal Memory, Four Daughters, To Kill a Tiger, documentary short, The Last Repair Shop, and the ABC's A Book Banning was one of the nominees. Come on, people. Film editing, Oppenheimer, and Killers of a Flower Moon, Poor Things were also nominated. International feature film, The Zone of Interest from the United Kingdom, being out Society of the Snow, Perfect Days, bunch of films we really haven't heard. We have makeup and hairstyling. Poor Things got it. Of course, Oppenheimer was in there, and Maestro. Musical score, Oppenheimer. No, I haven't heard the music, but I'm sure it was good.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, John Williams didn't get it this time for the Dial of Destiny. If there's one thing you could probably say that was really great about that movie was the score.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
Yeah. But, and then music, original song, Barbie. Barbie got that. And, of course, I'm Just Ken and whatever. So I didn't see anything about Godzilla in there. They sat back and said, hey, Godzilla -1 is here. So check below. Okay, well, yeah. Bite me, Cosmic Book News. So overall, you weren't disappointed, huh?
I mean, I'm happy with a lot of the awards. I just didn't watch much of the show. I ended up going back to sleep.
Mm. You weren't on the red carpet there with your camera going, Mr. Downey Jr., over here, got questions for you.
Absolutely not. They also had somebody show up to the Oscars because they can't help themselves, some TikTok influencer. And I always laugh with the word influencer. I don't know. TikTok influencer. I'm like, who is this person?
I don't know.
Probably some whack job again, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. Influencer, content creator. I mean, I know there's one out there that we know who wants to call us content creators, but every time I see content creator and influencer, it's usually a blue-haired land whale, and it's like, no, I don't want to be associated with that. I'll just be happy being a YouTuber. I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed at all. Not at all. So, moving on. What do you think about the armor? Babes in armor swinging swords.
I don't have a problem with
no
it.
opinion?
They're barbarians, dang it. No, they're barbarians. So what did Conan wear? I mean, come on.
He wore a thong. Basically.
Basically, yeah.
So we have superhero hype here with our next story we had. Basically, it's Red Sonja, Matilda Lutz talks, reboot, and changes from the comic book. Of course we do. This is from Andre Joseph, dated on March 11th of this year, just a couple days ago. And hold on to your hats, boys and girls. Red Sonja star Matilda Lutz has said the upcoming reboot will be more empowering and less eye candy than the original comic book. While promoting her new movie Magpie at FXSW. Okay, what's that? I don't know. It sounds like an adult awards program.
I don't know. Some just publisher, right?
I don't know. FXSW sounds like the adult film awards competition or something. I don't know. Like the Golden Globes to the AVNs. I don't know. Let's share details.
I guess that's the publisher or whatever, the production studio. Okay. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, whatever. I mean, whatever floats their boats. Let's share details about Red Sonja's production with Collider and praise the reboot director MJ Basset Hound.
So, yeah, Basset Hound. What do you think? Does this need to be made at all? Do you want this, Baron? You've watched the first movie. I haven't. Are you good with a reboot with this? Okay.
Well, I'd love to see Red Sonja come back. There's no reason why it shouldn't come back if it's done properly, right?
Would you rather have a sequel though than some kind of reboot? Okay.
No. I mean, it's been how many years since it's been like almost 40 years, at least 35, maybe 40,
something like that.
Since the Red Sonja film came out, and people have gotten a lot older, and you're talking about Red Sonja. She's supposed to be like 21 or so, 18, 19, 20, 21, that age category. So kind of makes it hard for the previous actress to come back and play that part.
They'd have to get somebody new, but could they go anywhere after the first movie?
Well, yeah, you could always go somewhere because,
that's what I thought.
When you're basing it off like a comic book inspired by Howard's works out there, how can you not? I mean, it's a continuing adventure. It's a saga, especially if you keep every movie compartmentalized where, you don't need to see the first one to watch the second one, but it doesn't hurt to watch the first one type of thing, like a series. But the thing is, it has to be done right. And that's where we're going to get into the meat of the thing right here. It was a great experience. The prep and stunt rehearsals and horseback riding were all things that I hadn't done before. So the whole process of prepping was amazing.
Amazing.
Oh, by the way, when you talk about crit and all that, you should step back and go, no, you're ignorant. You're ignorant. That's how he says it to you, buddy. No, you're ignorant. working with MJ as a MJ. Was he? Is he working with the girl from Spider-Man? Work with MJ at Michael Jackson's back as a director was incredible, Lutz said. And what I think is different from what we know of Red Sonja is that it was very in the comics as well, was very male gaze orientated, you scumbag son of a bitches. And this is a completely different story. It's a very empowered woman, and that's what I loved about the story. I don't know yet when it's coming out, but I'm so very excited to see it. I haven't seen anything yet. And I can guarantee you, with how you're talking, that's going to be most of America, if not the world.
Because we have to put in, it's a very empowered woman. And that's what I loved about the story. Isn't that, we don't even need to say that. People should just know that.
Well, the thing is
oh boy, okay.
I
just think those. Doesn't that feel like a buzzword to you, Baron?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Mm-hmm.
It's bullshit. It's a bullshit.
Yeah,
bullshit.
Is that what we're supposed to say about men too? We feel this is a very empowered man.
Only if it's castrated. Only if it's castrated in this world. But honestly, Red Sonja is kick ass. 100% kick ass. So why do you need to empower someone who's already empowered?
Exactly. That's what I don't get. I don't understand that at all. We already know this person can kick ass.
Oh, but she's showing skin. Oh my God. So is Conan. So is He-Man. I mean,
yes.
Okay, I'm going to go off a little bit here. When you have women out there seeing this stuff, what about how they feel threatened by seeing these beautiful women? What about those guys, especially fat asses like me? When we see someone like Arnold or Sly Stallone or whatever, do I know? I sit back and go, I don't at all. It's like, hey, well, please be my bodyguard. I mean, should I be intimidated by that or feel less of a man because of that? I mean, there's beautiful women, there's handsome men, and there's ugly men like me, and I'm sorry, I've seen pictures of this Lutz or whatever, Lutz. She does not cut the mold for being Red Sonja in any fashion. And I'm not talking about breasts. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just the body. No muscles, no tone, no nothing. It's like, how are you going to be playing this character? And that was one of the other things too. You had a woman who had muscles. You can crack the heads. I mean, and you got them out there. Too bad Cynthia Rothrock is older. She could have made a good Red Sonja, kicking ass, taking names. Part of what made Red Sonja stand out in the comics was the Barbarian Huntress iconic metal bikini. Though Lutz teased did change in direction for the character, she confirmed that the bikini remains part of the movie, except not as an exposure, kind of element. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Like totally for sure gag me with a spoon. And what part of fantasy don't you get? Fantasy. Okay, sorry. I mean, it was the thing, This by the way, this lady is from freaking Italy. And she's talking.
Is she? Wow.
She is from Italia. Yes. You look. I before the show, I ran through her, looked at her rundown on it. It's like nothing.
Oh my God. She
really
says
I've seen.
She says, I mean, it was the thing, like even the costume rehearsals and building the whole costume was like I felt very exposed. Oh my gosh.
But what I loved about it is that the bikini is used in a completely different way from the comics. How? Lutz added, I'm so excited to see what the audience is going to think.
Oh my gosh. Like,
yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, we don't want to be grody, yeah? So, who is, for anybody out there who doesn't know, who is Red Sonja? Just a second here. Based on the Marvel Comics character created. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Can we? Where's the editor? Okay. Based on the Marvel Comics character created created by writer Roy Thomas. Oh, God.
Come
And we wonder
on.
why we have problems in the industry.
We wonder. See, and we thought it was our problem last Sunday. No, this stuff is just, it's hard to read because it's stupid. They
Yeah,
put
it is.
2 words in the sentences that they don't need to.
Yeah. It's like, did you stutter? Did you guys stutter
Seriously.
while you're writing this? Are
Oh
you
my
a writer
gosh.
style? Yeah. Okay.
All right, what we'll do is we'll just take certain words out since they want to add them in. They shouldn't be.
No, I'm going to keep them in there.
Oh, you're
Andre,
gonna keep them in there?
I'm keeping them in there for you, Andre. Obviously, you meant it. And I'm sending you an email afterwards. Okay, Andre, you and me, we're going to talk. Created by writer Roy Thomas and artist Barry Windsor Smith. Red Sonja was introduced in the pages of Conan the Barbarian, number 23, February of 1973, inspired by the character Red Sonja of Rogatino.
Rogatino? I think it's Rogatino. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Rogatino. Yeah, mamma mia.
Rogatino.
Phil was here to tell us because he's a good Italian boy. You know, Rogatino, right. Where the Rogatinos they come with, you put the sauces on there. You know, it's a good meal there, Rogatinos. I had a Rogatino earlier, meat filled, man, with the proper cheeses. Conceived by Conan creator Robert E. Howard, also known as Two Gun Bob by H.P. Lovecraft. He and H.P. Lovecraft were friends, pen pals. Sonja began as an innocent 21-year-old whose family gets slaughtered by mercenaries and gets assaulted in the process. Yeah. You know what you mean by assaulted. And before I continue on, look who has creeped into the chat.
Anonymous. Anonymous. Anonymous.
Yep. Welcome, Anonymous.
Anonymous.
The man with the golden wand. That's what I was told, at least. Okay, so where was I on? Okay, and was assaulted in the process. Seeking revenge, Red Sonja is given extraordinary fighting skills by the Red Goddess. What is
that?
I don't know.
Scatchit? Yeah.
Scatchit? Yeah. I mean, you know, I can read the shit. I just can't say it.
You can do it, man.
No.
You got this, man. You got this.
I hope so, man. I need to have the pep talk. Under the strict condition that she does not give herself up to any man unless they defeat her in combat. No, I mean, honestly, what's more empowering than that? She's gonna kick every man's ass out there, unless there happens to be might be the guy she might let her guard down just enough because she really likes him. Oh God, I'm starting to talk like the actress. Lutz, I'm sorry about that, but no, I mean, but really,
it's the thing, you know.
I mean, how much more empowering do you want in the feminist? In the feminist age. I mean, honestly. Basset Hound's reboot from Millennium Films will be the second big screen adaptation of Red Sonja since the 1985 movie starring Brigitte Nielsen, former Mrs. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Sly Stallone, and Arnold Schwarzenegger as a pseudo Conan. Lutz stars in the title role opposite Wallace Day, Robert Sheehan, Michael Bisping, and Veronica Ferrez. Basset Hound directs from a screenplay by Tasha Hu. Red Sonja does not have a release date.
Tasha Hu, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's Hu. I think that's might be Korean. Yeah, Tasha Hu. So, or maybe it might be even Vietnamese. So, of course, Andre. Let's just follow through here. Andre Joseph is a filmmaker, writer, and podcast host based in New York City. Oh my God, he writes for a profession, and look at this mess. He enjoys all things Marvel, Star Wars, Ghostbusters, RoboCop, and wrestling. Gotta have the wrestling.
Wrestling. Wrestling.
He teaches film and video to young students during the summer and produced a G.I. Joe fan film called The Fall of Cobra, starring, of course, Mike Pacific414. We don't know that. You didn't know that, did you?
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I mean, again, same old, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, right across the board, it's like, oh, we gotta have this empowering movie. They say, Red Sonja is, and guys love Red Sonja. Yeah, she's eye candy,
Mm-hmm.
but she was also a kick-ass hero.
Mm-hmm.
Just like
She's a
Wonder Woman.
barbarian. Do people understand that? Right, exactly. That they wear less clothing. That's just they're barbarians, just like Conan. It's stupid, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're taking off the type of the artwork of Frank Frazetta, who did wonderful artwork of both men and women, very scantily clad. I mean, it was his artwork of Conan that basically was the stamp of what Conan's supposed to look like, right? Yep. And he's not,
yes.
Really, honestly, in the books, he's not really dressed like that all the time. But because you see the book covers with Frazetta's art and other stuff, that's what comes to mind. This oiled, loincloth wearing barbarian, and the same thing with Red Sonja. But yeah, it's eye candy for both people. What's wrong with that? Nope. What's wrong with eye googling on both sides?
Nothing, man. There's nothing wrong with any of this.
Yeah, and again, I don't mean to be mean to this lot, but you don't look the part. I looked at the pictures. There's no, unlike Michael Keaton wearing the bat suit, you can't pad it up.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, man. It's in something.
And welcome, Phil McCracken. No, he's
Kraken's here.
Yeah, he's sitting in the Mayberry Huska. We'll talk to you about that later, but it's absolutely hysterical what we did to him. But yeah, again, this is what's epidemic about.
Yeah, no, I think you should. Yeah, you should. You should get into the role as much as possible, whatever role is. If you need to be more toned, then get more toned. Get as close as the characters you should. Other people have. There's no excuse. I'm not saying she has to, but I think it would be good. It just shows you care even more. You think, but when they always say, "Oh, she's empowered," it's like that shouldn't even be said.
No,
we know she's empowered.
That's why she's a hero. That's why she's got her own title. You don't have Shrieking Violets as your title character, unless, of course, it's a romance, comic, or something like that. But when you're having something that's fantasy, superhero, whatever, no, they're kick-ass, and that's what we like.
Yes,
and I do go with the part. You should. If this is a part, you should have gotten a trainer and you should have been training and come out. I'm not saying you should come out looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but you should be pretty freaking toned for this. And this movie, I looked through the cast of the movie, and really, it's a cast of people they really never heard. I'm not going to say nobodies, but they're people from other countries and such. And I'm seeing some of the other people that were in there, and it's like they're MMA fighters, including the women, and and working with bodybuilding and body sculpting or whatever they want to call it. So you got people involved with this that do have the tone, if not more. They know how to fight. They're tough people. Again, both men and women on the cast.
Right.
Why did you go with this lady, who's not really known? If you're going to go that way, I'm sure there's a lot of young ladies who fit the bill of Red Sonja far better in build, temperament, and looks. She does not look like Red Sonja. I'm talking about even the face. This is not Red Sonja. This is full Sonja. F-A-U-X, by the way. There's a little French lingo there for everybody.
Right. Well, wouldn't it be nice if the actress or the actor says, I mean, I think Charlemagne, I think some of these other people, they're going to work hard. Even I think Tom Holland is like, I'm going to do what I can to make the character look exactly like it should in the comics and the animated show, whatever. I'm going to work hard, but it's just when you say, "Oh, I'm empowered," it's like, are you going to work hard to play this role?
Right.
So you can be toned enough as her, and so on. It's like, do you guys? Does she also look at, say, the comic book that obviously this is based on before there was even an original film in '84, '5, right? '85, they said, yeah.
85. Yep.
Yeah, that just look at the comics and say, okay, well, I want to get toned up. Well, people get trainers and do that, so she could do that. I don't know if she wants to, or is she going to. We'll see, but when the movie comes out.
Right. Well,
Mm-hmm.
while I'm here, let's take a look here. So, because I'm able to do this, there she is, right?
Okay.
Does that, I mean, just the body type herself, does
Mm-hmm.
that look like someone who could pull off Red Sonja?
No. I would hope she would tone up, and I'm sure people would say, "Oh, that's offensive," but no, really,
No.
she should tone up. If she's for this role, she should tone up.
Right. And if you think that's offensive, then okay, fine. Then somebody like me should play Conan.
Right.
I'll just blah 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 blah.
Baron the Conan. Conan the Baron.
Okay. I just want my sword. Just wait a moment. Gotta get my breath back. Okay. Just stay right there. Just stay almost there. Oh, heart attack. Oh, okay. God. Okay. Okay. Swinging the sword again. Oh, okay. Wait up. Okay. I got this.
Well, I would hope for the role that she's, toning up a lot more. Like I said, I hope she's working hard.
It would,
because that's what Red Sonja looks like. So, yes.
Right. It would comfort me if that's what I heard. Oh, the work I was putting into this character. I was doing this work. I remember when T2 came out, Terminator 2 came out, and Linda Hamilton goes, yeah, the first thing I did when I got to the set was strip naked in front of Arnold so he could see my body because I worked, because of the workout I did, because I had to be a different character than I was the last time. I had to be toned. I had to be tougher looking. I had to be, I couldn't be that shrinking violet that I was in the first film. I had to look like I've already gone through a little bit of hell. And boy, look at her. Look how toned she was. She was very toned.
Yep.
You would expect the same dedication here with what she had. Now, granted, we haven't really seen a picture of her as Red Sonja.
Right.
But
exactly.
I'm betting that Chicken Legs here did not.
I hope not, man.
I mean, yeah, I mean,
I know. I don't think it's. I think it's definitely constructive criticism, and I think it's fair to say that this woman needs to be toned for this role. I think that's fair.
Right. But I'm just taking a look at your body type, and it's like, how can you get that body toned like that? I mean, obviously, miracles do happen, or things. If we do things right, but I don't know.
This goes for anybody, man or woman. This goes for anybody. They should work very hard to fit the part as much as possible.
Right, exactly. This is a job of of make believe, and even though there's that element of make believe, you still got to do something to make it look real in some fashion. I just want to say hello to FKHC 2005. Now, Mike knows his name. My apologies, I don't, but I'll just go with the FKHC 2005. And looks like he's got like a little wallaby there. It looks like a wallaby on this thing. Kangaroo. Diamond Kangaroo down sport. I can't say that because of Ralph Stang being the scumbag that he was, but I love this song. Okay. Well, I mean, staying inside the world of fantasy, and my God, what the F are they doing? Our friends at Bounding into Comics, Dungeons and Dragons senior game designer, and when I say friends, we don't know anybody over there, honestly, we don't. None of them have talked to us. In fact, I think they disavow us, but still, we like to say that because we use them so much. And today in 1781, William Herschel discovered Uranus. So today is dedicated to, hey, Uranus. So, and remember, when you in Uranus, go to the fudge factory there. They make wonderful fudge. And I'm not kidding. There is a Uranus fudge factory where they make fudge. Look it up. It's not a joke. They do have a sense of humor. So, and as they say, what does toilet paper and Klingons have in common? They both circle. Are they? Toilet paper and the Enterprise have in common. They both circle Uranus searching for Klingons. There we go. Bad joke, but okay. So, Dungeons and Dragons senior game designer disavows how series was made by white dudes. Post that much of original material would never pass our inclusive reviews today. This is by Spencer Bacali, our new go-to guy over there. Again, he doesn't know us. We don't really know him. And if he did, he would disavow us. But that's beside the point. March 11th, 2024, by the way, is dated. You never know. I mean, I don't know. Jonathan F. Trent, I mean, that was a nice cease and desist order that he sent us, along with a restraining order. So, sure. I mean, it was a really nicely worded one, kind, you know. Yeah, and yeah, exactly. Well, they did have a different version that where they took that part out, but even then, they won't play it because of what they found out about the guy. Him and Jim will fix it both. Okay. So, going to the story of another shit show in delivering what is perhaps one of the most self-aggravating. Yeah. I'm having a mic moment. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah.
And revising,
I think. Yeah, virtual signals in recent history. Really, in front of the Pop Talk? In front of the Pop Talk girls. Really? Really? Come on, girls. You're not gonna put up girls. Enough. They don't like this story already, as you can tell. And delivering what is perhaps the most basically bullshit virtual signaling recent history, current Dungeons and Dragons senior game designer Jason Tondro, oh, you gotta love that name, has taken to proudly touting the fact that much of the series' original materials, which he considerably writes off thanks to having been made by white dudes, would never pass our inclusivity review today. Well, yeah, we'll swivel on it.
Gotta love that word, inclusivity. Ugh.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you go to Drive-Thru RPG, where you can get either the PDFs or sometimes even print on demand of these old games, you go under the TSR and look at what they have for the original, first edition, even second edition. And what do they have on there? They have a disclaimer. This was done before we were more aware of the world, and this might shock and offend you because you have a skin and not capable to comprehend. You might jump off a building if you read this, so you have been warned. Tondro offered his take on the current state of the popular tabletop RPG franchise while speaking with official D&D content creator Todd Kenrick in promotion of Wizards of the Coast upcoming series-centric history book, Dungeons and Dragons, How We're Fucking It All Up, the unmaking of the original D&D, 1970 to 1977. So, when they're talking about that, this is really going to be... Yeah, do you talk to Ernie Gygax? Do you talk to Luke Gygax? All these people that are still around that were all a part of it? I know Arneson's gone. I know Gary's gone.
I just find
Ernie
it also...
Luke is still here.
I find it weird that Wizards of the Coast, which of course made Magic the Gathering, started in the 90s or somewhere around there.
About 94.
It was the 90s. That it was all just fantasy, and that was fine. But no, now they have to expand to Fallout, other sets, and I'm like, why? Why does this need to be involved with Magic at all? I thought it was just fine doing fantasy, right? It must
Hasbro.
It must be Hasbro, yeah.
Stupid
to me.
My guess would be is Magic hurting?
No. I mean, it is now, I think, but I don't know.
I mean,
actually, I'm not sure.
They need to have a gimmick. I mean, that's a serious
question. That's what I feel, Baron. Why do these things always have to be gimmicks? Oh, we need this. We need skins in Overwatch. We need just, just as an example, why do we need this? We never needed this at all. Put skins in something else, like Fortnite. It's not Fortnite, but it's Fortnite. Fortnite, they have all these skins and they're taking all these different IPs and people like that, fine. But you don't have to do that with other things. They're doing that with Overwatch. They're doing, and then reading about like Fallout being added to Magic, it's like why? Why do we need this? I thought it was fine with just being
Well,
fantasy. It's always for
I
a
thought
number of years, and it could just continue that way. But Hasbro.
I thought they were jumping the shark. Yeah, Hasbro. I thought they were jumping the shark when they were doing the Lord of the Rings, and of course, look at what they did to it. They bastardized it. Just like the Rings of Power.
I don't. Right.
Just like if you're going to do it, at least do it right.
Exactly.
No, speaking of Fallout, have you seen the trailer for the Fallout series?
Yeah, I saw the first one. I'm interested in it because of Walter Goggins, because he's
looks
going to
good.
bring it. Yeah.
Yeah, they brought a new one out not too long ago, and I watched it. Like I think in the last week or whatever. But it looks good. It looks good. I think I'm going to sit and watch it. But back to the story at hand. So, there's Spencer right there. Look at him, editor-in-chief. He's the editor-in-chief, by the way, folks. Come on, Spencer. You, me, we talk. My people will talk to your people. How's that sound? Okay. So, following a lengthy summary of the book's contents, as well as his own history with the franchise, of course, it's a book about the origins, but he's going to put his history in there too. Tondro was eventually met by the observation from Kenrick that it's important to note that this is a historical document. So there are things in there. It was a different time. So we've had an inclusivity in review of all the material, to which he enthusiastically replied, multiple. So let's take a step back here. Let's clarify. There are materials in Dungeons and Dragons that would never pass our inclusivity to reviewers' name. Would that mean that you're not inclusive then? Really, honestly, you just sat back and stated you're not inclusive. Your inclusivity is a lie. It would never pass our inclusivity thing. No, that stuff should be inclusive.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, Baron, we could make, and this whole thing is just like in the Dungeons and Dragons movie, for example. Oh no, I saw a black paladin. Yeah, well, why can't a paladin be black? I would make all the characters minority, follow still what D&D is supposed to be, and tell them to shove it up their face. And what could they say? What could they say? They would probably find some kind of smart ass comment to say, what could they say? We could take every character and make a minority. Every character in D&D. Well, just all minority characters and make them all the same. What they go through, the trials, the building process, everything, just to shove it up their face.
Well, I mean, the 2000 Dungeons and Dragons film had a black elf or a half elf. I can't remember if she was a full elf or a half elf. And of course, the sidekick was black. It was one of the Wayans. So you were even in 2000 in a D&D movie. No one complained about that, by the way. People were just complaining that they thought the film sucked. I thought it was fun. I mean, I think it's a fun, guilty pleasure. Yeah. But people didn't like it for other reasons. And it had nothing to do with the casting or the people that were in there. When 3.0 came out, the D20 system, 3rd edition came out, one of the main fighter characters, their iconic, what they have for their iconic heroes that they have in there, was black. Did anybody complain? No.
Right. Do you guys not think diversity isn't orcs and elves? And you guys are gonna sit there and say that maybe we need a black elf. Like I don't care, but the thing is, what happens is you're taking established characters and you're race swapping them. Yet if we took the same characters and we race swapped them the other way and made them white, you people would have a meltdown, an absolute meltdown.
Right.
So how is it insulting one way and not insulting the other?
I don't know. It's double talk. It's I just don't know. I mean, these people are just mutton heads. Mutton heads.
Yes.
And that's, I don't mean to insult mutton heads, by the way. So let's continue on with this verbal vomiting of bullshit. Some of it you can understand, the designer proceeded to argue. Really? Like, okay, these are a bunch of war gamers, and they're using armies from history. So when they create a warrior class for D&D, they call it the fighting man, the original name for the fighter class, because that's what they were used to. They were all men. They were all white dudes from Lake Geneva and the Twin Cities. Shut up, you fucking racist. Shut the fucking door. That is one of the most bigoted, racist, bullshitted statements you could have sat back and right there. What if I were to reverse it? What if I put some other group in there? Because they were all women and they were black. Oh my God. The pitchforks.
Mm-hmm.
The torches would be lit. But it's okay to do this? Because that's what they were used to. They were all men. They were all white dudes from Lake Geneva and the Twin Cities. Yes, wargaming is where D&D came from. Instead of having such a snipey little bullshit pitchy comment like that, you should be worshiping the ground that they're walking. Because they took that and turned it into an amazing game that everyone's tried to keep up with, and in some ways have surpassed throughout various times of its history. This is absolutely ridiculous. It came from Napoleonic tabletop wargaming. And they decided, hey, what if we put wizards out there? And Arneson for the Twin Cities and Gygax from Lake Geneva, they got together. And behold, before you know it, you had a role-playing game. These were more than just army dudes. You started having characters out there. And yeah, I know you're right. It's right. Absolutely.
Yep, exactly.
The most hypocritical thing you could have right there. Yeah, I'm calling it up because I'm tired of it. I'm absolutely fucking tired of it. What's wrong with the fact that you had white guys that were war gamers that had people called fighting men? This is called originating. They changed it as it went along. They added things as it went along. Mm-hmm. They tweaked it as it went along.
They wanted to see what would work. Exactly. A fighter man became fighter class, became mage class, became whatever. Mm-hmm.
You had magic user. You had cleric. Mm-hmm. You had thief. You had paladin. You had monk.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it evolved. Everything has a beginning, right? Everything.
Yep.
This is a perfect example where you saw an evolution. Not to criticize it, but to be in awe of it. That they went from this and they got that, which went to this. If you're doing it as a history, get your head out of your fucking ass. Your history sucks in because obviously you have a biased bit. And your book is worth nothing more than to heat my house in the wintertime. Or maybe use when I run out of toilet paper. But I don't want it to irritate your anus. Yes, you heard that right. Tondro just dismissed D&D creators Gary Gygax and David Arneson as nothing more than ignorant white dudes. Guys, Tondro, these guys knew a hell of a lot more than you. These guys were historians. That's why they were war gamers. They knew their history. That's why they did what they did. They knew intricate plans of battles. And that's just that area. They knew other things as well. They knew folklore. They knew mythology. They knew history.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Tondro? And, masturbating in the closet to Dylan Mulvey is not one of them. Yeah, I'm being that way because just as we have here, following this insult, and it is insult, he continued, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of material in this book, and I won't go over it all. Or, I just showed it out because it was easier to go that way. My apology. But it would not pass our inclusivity review today. What? How wouldn't it? I got it on my shelf. Tell me. I can just pull it right off my shelf. Tell me, what in this book, what in first edition AT&T, what wouldn't pass? What wouldn't pass? The game was so simple. If you took a look at the games at that time, they were basically just pamphlets. The white books, right?
You build your stats. Yep. You build your stats. You roll the dice. You go, if you have you should probably have a dungeon master. You said, okay, you're going on a journey. This is what's going to happen to you. Roll the dice and see. Yep.
How would it fit the inclusivity? Yeah, it's based on European. Is that it? Well, that's what these guys' forte and knowledge was in. They knew European history. Going back to the Lord knows what. What do you write or what you deal with? Things that you know. This wasn't something that they thought was going to explode into the giant it was. These were just a bunch of nerds sitting together and having fun. That somehow lightning struck in the bottle. Gary Gygax and David Arneson, they never thought that this would happen. I mean, obviously, I'm sure everyone who starts something is like, boy, wouldn't it be great if other people would be playing this? Meanwhile, how many years later, and millions of players around the world? We couldn't change it. It's history. What we can do is acknowledge it and show how far we came to come, because that's not D&D anymore. Yes, it is. Your stuff isn't D&D. Fucking bears is not D&D. Gender identity isn't D&D. Sexual orgies is not D&D. Now, if you want that as your personal homebrew game,
right?
Fine, have fun. D&D was very generic for that reason. Here, this is it. Now, go out and make your own world. Oh, we do have this other world called Greyhawk if you want. But go ahead, create your own world. Do what you want to do. Go nuts. And I'll tell you one thing as a player from back then those days. The last thing we thought of was going around waving our dicks around, sitting back saying, these are my pronouns. No, it's like, I cast fireball in this small hallway. Do you really want to do that? Yeah, I want to cast a fireball. You don't want to do that. No, I really want to cast this fireball. Okay,
right. Roll the dice. Yeah.
Yeah. I think all of us.
Everyone's dead.
Yeah. I think all of us who play D&D at least once have done that. Where I cast fireball without realizing that you're going to blow the shit out of everybody. And I did that. I'm a proud member of the Fireball in the Small Room Club. Turning his virtual signaling up to max brightness, can we sit back and see maybe to 11, 12, 20? Tondro further assured Kenrick, D&D gets more diverse and has a larger audience every day. That's funny. Then why are you having trouble selling your stuff in Pathfinder has been
Pathfinder, I hear, is doing great.
Selling out.
Yes.
Yeah. They sold out when they started doing their bullshit recently. Good luck finding a Pathfinder book.
Well, the games are really fun too.
It's because of me that they happen, by the way. What now?
Not just the book, but of course, like the video games are fun too. I think there's been a few of them, at least one or two.
Pathfinder, I'm not too. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they do have it. And they're playing those off of, well, you got the Pathfinder second edition now, which deviated off of that D20, the 3.5. But yeah, I mean, they're keeping that system alive for over 20 years. It's a great system.
It's impressive.
But it was. And how is that so? They're not. They're losing people with D&D with this. Every step that they take on this, they're losing the game. They've been insulting the old timers like me, saying that we're not necessary. So, oh yeah, how do we retain an audience and keep the sales up? Let's insult the people that helped build this fucking game, who stayed with this game through thick and thin. I mean, you don't know how many times D&D probably would have come to an end completely because TSR was going under, sales or whatever, going over to Hasbro. Even then, they were having some dark times over there.
Sure.
Now they really are.
Yeah.
Why do you want to play this mess? Honestly, when they have this attitude, the more diverse the game becomes, the more people of different genders and ethnic backgrounds and faiths see themselves in the game. They go make their own versions of the game, and more players start to see themselves represented in the game. That's not what the game is fucking about. If you want that, nothing stopped you. If gender identity was something back in the 80s with first edition, right? You could have homebrewed it. No one would have stopped you. Unless the DM sat back and said, no, we're not going to do that. Then you can take it up with the DM or start your own group. Right? There's nothing in those books that stops you. The only thing that stops you is your imagination.
Exactly. I just, like you had mentioned before, Baron, like I said, I find just some of this stuff weird, maybe because, whenever I played D&D, I didn't even think about all this sex stuff and getting together with somebody and whatever. I mean, if the dungeon master wants that, it's fine, but, I just... and I know that's now become a part of stuff like Beargate 3 and whatever, but that of course is not my main problem with the game and never will be, but still, I just never thought about this stuff. I just thought about you're going on an adventure, you get to meet people, and so on. Things can happen. Somebody could die. An imp is talking to you, things like that. I didn't think about all this sex stuff in D&D. I don't know about you, but I don't think a lot of older players did either.
Sometimes we joke about shit, but that's about it.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, a joke is a different thing than we're going to role play it out. I mean, yeah, wouldn't that be the most uncomfortable thing? Let's role play a sex scene between a bunch of guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if somebody wanted that
way, unless you go that way. I mean, I mean,
and somebody wanted that, it's like, well, I'm like, that's cool. You guys can do this, but I'm out. Like, this is not the D&D for me. And I'm sure people say, oh my gosh, are you? It's like, I don't care. This is not the D&D for me.
And I assure you, when you had a woman in the game and all that, that's definitely the last thing you want to do, because again, we're a bunch of nerds. The last thing you want to do is start talking, boom, child, because we're intimidated by the women. It's like, hi, how are you? Yeah, I cast magic missile in the dark. And TCAP is absolutely right. They don't have any imagination, and that's the thing. They have to have everything written out for them, because that's all they do.
Yeah, they refuse. It's like they think something's wrong with having an imagination. It's not. That's where a lot of this stuff comes from. It's just certain things. There's got to be a limit to what it is in games and whatever. And when things are built a certain way and people like them, not everybody's going to like everything, and they shouldn't. That would be a weird world. But world's weird anyways. But it's just, they do this weird fan fiction, and for some reason they're so obsessed with sex, and you're just like, why? It's weird. It's like, that's always your imagination. It always goes only towards sex.
Yeah, or insult.
I know
or whatever
a lot of people think about it, but I'm just saying there's so much more. Like,
Well, yeah, it's like, oh, you got small tech because you have a big
I think I
vehicle.
saw
You know,
that.
and that's it's like, why do you always,
Mhm.
why do people
Mhm.
always have to go that way? Honestly, and I
Mhm.
never watched Community. I can't see. I think you're the closest one to
Oh
watch.
yeah, I did see that actually. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did see
Mhm.
that episode. Yes, it was quite good. Yes.
And one of the things too, I want to sit back and state the last thing I want to play in D&D is me, or any role playing game for that matter. I know I
Mhm.
was role playing with a guy, and the guy sat back and said, "Yeah, all role players are all we are is we just play ourselves in the game." I'm sitting
Yep.
back going, "No, I'm not. I don't. That's
Look,
boring."
the
Um,
reason. Right. Go ahead.
because it's escapism, and at the time I was playing the Edge of the Empire from Fantasy Flight Games, um, and I was playing a droid. TK. And basically, I kind of modeled him off of kind of a Bender type character, a little slick, used car salesman type of thing, a free droid, and he's just gaining problems. And I basically it's like, well, if I was going to actually play myself in this game, I wouldn't be playing a Bender type. I'd be playing a Fry type. I'd be the one sitting on the couch inside the YT 1300, going, "Yeah, guys, have fun. I'm going to watch this show here." That'd be me.
Eat some pizza.
If Yeah, eat some pizza. That'd be me role playing me in the game. No, I don't want to play me.
Mhm.
This is fantasy. This is to be something you're not.
Yep.
And
That's
I
the
just
whole
want to,
thing. And so you talk to a lot of these people who are making all this money, these creators, it doesn't matter what it is, and you said, what is your imagination? And if they talk about a lot of sex and pronouns, it's like you look at them like, do you really think that's much an imagination?
no,
Hello,
it's
DJ
not.
Rangy. No.
Nerd. And Mike's
Turtles.
not here. Yeah, Mike's not here. Mike's not here. So
I just this is one thing that I feel that a lot of people have lost is their imagination. Their
mhm.
imagination is either
Yeah,
we've seen this, they're obsessed with sex, they're obsessed with changing characters, they make weird ass fan fiction. When you criticize that fan
right,
fiction, then people get mad and they don't want you in the group. Like this is
right.
not being inclusive. This is we're supposed to come together and have different ideas and build on that.
Come
That's where
together
other great
right
ideas come.
now. Let's see if I do this right there.
Okay.
But there's a small sampling of my role playing games and
Mhm.
comics too. Can I do this
Yep.
right? There's my Star Wars Edge of the Empire stuff. Oh, my 3-part encyclopedia. Some more Star Wars. Some more Star Wars. There was no material, by the way. Some of my D&D stuff over there. I have to point the camera the other way to show the other D&D stuff, which is the classic stuff. This is me, by the way. Hi, everybody. How you doing? Yeah, my face was red earlier. If I leave the camera on, you'd probably be entertained. Oh, what the
It's
hell? Let's turn it on.
it's
Let's turn it on, folks. Let's turn it on because you can see me go
Mhm.
Alex Jones here because, the chemicals in the
Mhm.
water are turning to freaking Gordon deadly. So, there goes the doggies again. There you go. How do I look? How do you look? No, but the thing is I don't want representation. I mean, I look like a dwarf enough as it is. If I was shorter, I got the pork belly, I got the beard and all that. If I was like 5'1", I could be a dwarf. I'm a giant dwarf. That's what I'll call myself. How's that sound? But I don't want that. The more diverse the creators get, the more diverse the players become, and that's the way it should be. No, you're wrong, as Captain Keneal would say. You're wrong. Because when you start doing that, you start marginalizing yourself. You start becoming the thing that you are accusing the others of being.
Mhm.
These
Yep.
worlds are open. Why are they open that way? They gotta be.
Mhm.
They have to be. I like reading a lot of these books that I have because I love the world building that these have. I can read through them and just imagine things in there without playing the game because there's a lot of thought on how the world's made. There's some that are great. They're so good that it's almost impossible to play in that role-playing game world because the story already has a beginning, middle, and end. Sovereign Stone game was that way. It wasn't for the fact they had the 3 novels. Basically, that's the whole story. Well, how do I role play in here unless we disregard that story completely? Well, I guess that we do. As one person sat back and said, Lord of the Rings, great world building, but it's a lousy role playing game. Why? Well, everything's kind of clear and solid. We know who and what were the major players in this game and in this world. So, how are you going to do this? How are you going to play a Lord of the Rings game? Role playing game. I mean, they're out there. I'm sure people have done it. There've been a few versions of it already from different publishing companies. They have a 5th edition now.
Mm-hmm.
But the best thing you can have is as neutral. You don't want diverse. You want neutral.
Yes.
Yes, there are certain rules that this universe has, like magic systems.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the other things, maybe even combat system, whatever. But you keep it neutral. That way, it's up to people like me, you, Cash, you, the people in the chat, anyone who's going to be who's lurking in the chat, anyone who's going to be coming back and watching this later on. That's up for you, not me, the game designer. I'm just giving you, here you go, have fun. That's the job, and that's how you get the quote unquote inclusivity. That anyone is welcome here, anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And your statement sat back and said, no, not everyone is. We don't like the old time gamers. And we hate the people that gave us this game. You know, the ones that, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be doing this shit. Because there's no way in hell we could ever come up with imagination of something like this.
No, it's more. Yeah,
what?
Go ahead. No, it's just more basically another form of bullying, and that's fine. But if they think people are just gonna put up and take it, they're like, oh yeah, you're right. No, dude, you people are stupid. Like
I do not.
You want an Asian dwarf, you want an Asian thing, like you want an Asian elf, you want some. Go ahead. What are you saying?
Go on. No. Keep it up. No, I didn't say anything. Go.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying, like we've had this stuff, and this is called imagination. That's where D&D came from. So you can have whatever you want. There was never a time, even in the 90s or whatever, when I was growing up, that anybody would be excluded from the game ever. No one was excluded ever. We had people who were Asian. Well, there were a lot of Hispanics that, of course, went to my high school. So there were some black people. I don't know if any black people actually played, but we did have some Asians. We did have some other people who played D&D at the time.
Right.
Nobody was excluded. It didn't matter what they look like. They could look like Baron. It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. Everybody can do whatever they want. You want to make a character that's a black elf, black this. It's when you take established characters that have names already, and you go, well, we need to race swap this, and then it's like, well, that's really lazy and stupid, and it can be insulting. And then you're like, okay, well, if you're going to do that, then we're going to do that to your character. Oh no, well, then let's just stop doing this stuff. You can make any kind of character you want.
You can.
It's all about your imagination. That's how all this stuff came about. If you're playing Japanese RPGs, even Japanese people saw things like D&D. D&D is literally the foundation of everything role-playing. Everything. It has to be, because it's pen and paper. It's the foundation of everything.
Black Asian Monk, 2000.
There you go.
Black Asian Monk. And she wasn't the one I was looking up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a handsome dwarf, by the way, in there. I was not even looking that one up. I was just kind of, I don't want you wuss. But no, I mean, that's just it. Again, there's nothing in this book that says you have to be a certain whatever. In fact, we got the set game world in here, but you're not stuck in this game world. You can create your own. You have the tools, especially when you get the Dungeons & Masters guide, how to create a world. They give you hints. What's the meaning of them? I tell you what. The first edition, AD&D, my God, that was extensive on how to create worlds. and what to do, what meanings, and what type of governments you would have with that. Boy, whenever you want to try to find something, you can't. Oh, they have okay. They don't have him in the iconic area here, but okay. But that's what. Oh yeah, there he is. Right, and right there he had the Black Fighter. And news for you, they did a DVD kind of adventure where you choose your adventure with the DVD, and guess what? One of the main characters was him. The hell you say?
That's right. No, they refused. This is why all the property, we have this cheap art. That's why a lot of the art looks the same. Like they don't.
Yeah.
It all goes along the same lines. TSR, for example, had amazing art. You look at you take their cards that they had on the back, and they have the stats and so on. You have a whole set. Amazing art. Absolutely, just very. The females had curves. The men had a certain look to them. All kinds of stuff. The detail was incredible. And what we've done lately, especially probably after 2015 or so, maybe even probably after 2015, is you keep seeing this cheap looking art. Doesn't matter what it is. So,
well, yeah, I mean, absolutely cheap ass art, and of course a lot of it's now computer. Let's do it on computer. I mean, you still got Wayne Reynolds, who does stuff on pen, paper, canvas, stuff like that, but so many people are doing the computer as a crutch now. And it's almost down to a level of what would you say? A crutch. I mean, I'm sure they're probably even doing it. They're doing AI now. It just
and the computer stuff can look nice, but it also can look cheap too.
Yeah, some can. I mean, that right there looks pretty good. That does. That really does. I don't know how to type, by the way. I was trying to find something here. Come on. And I'll tell you. I need help. I need help. I really need help. I need help so much. But you go with the. I was hoping I could find some. Well, yeah, I mean, you had some of the great masters of D&D, and yeah, you take a look at it now, and it's like, oh, that's so. What would you say? Passe or whatever. But it was still fantastic art. It opened up our minds to what we're doing. And getting ourselves into. Boy, this selection sucks. I was trying to find something that would be kind of really nice to. Well, I mean, here we go. From Tramp. Here's a classic Tramp. What would you say? Artwork from the Monster Manual. I mean, right there. That's from first edition D&D. I mean, simple line drawing, but still, you look at it. You have the shading, right? You got the shading. Just it might seem trite or whatever, but look at that art.
I like
that. Fantastic.
It is,
and only helped us imagine. And unfortunately, he's not with us. I don't know what happened. Something happened with him in D&D, with the people at TSR, and he, disappeared out there. He was a taxi driver. Yeah, exactly. Mike is absolutely right. Bullying is, yeah. No, it's not right. No, not at all. My bullying is go out there and use your brain.
Yep.
Oh, let's see. Change it's and okay. So this book is very interesting. So I think it really highlights how far the audience has come and how the game has changed over the 50 years. He concluded how it's played, who plays it, and how it's created. In many ways, the way that it's created is the part that changed the least, because a huge driver in early D&D was fan creations, and that's still true today. Oh, I forgot to put this back on there. My apologies.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, there's that drawing. Yeah,
You're good.
There's that ping. Yep. Hilariously, the last declaration by Tandro actually proves as a counter to everything that he said above. Absolutely right. I was going to call out on that, but hey, our guy here at Bounty in the Comics, hey, he got it. He's it. As to his point, D&D never barred anyone of any identity from being represented in the game, specifically because of its entire existence is based on the fact that the players create their characters and adventures as they see. But I just said that earlier. I had not read this article beforehand. As you know, that's kind of my rule. I don't read articles ahead because you get, I want everything to be real, right? So again, he's following through with what I say here. As with all other such declarations that tabletop RPGs were never inclusive, while some individual dungeon masters and story scenes may implement some limits on character creation in order to help boost players' immersion for a specific campaign, there has never been any official rule in D&D barring players from assigning whatever traits they want to their completely custom characters. Again, it's called homebrew. It says exact rule. Okay, tell you what, we'll homebrew a little bit something for you. There we go. As long as it's balanced out for the game. As long as it's not outrageous for the game. Further, it should be noted that it was not just Tandro's interview with Kenrick, which saw an official D&D source feign such pearls clutching towards the inclusion of the game's original content in the making of original D&D. What follows is the book's official description, wherein 3 sentences are dedicated to describing its actual contents, while a full 6 are used to performantly and exclusively assure readers that D&D parent company Wizard of the Coast in no way, shape, or form endorses the problematic subject matter contained within, which, as I said back and said, they do with Drive-Thru RPG when you try to get either PDFs or print on demands. Oh, we're so sorry, Mr. Albert. Okay, so this is what they have. Here is the ultimate record of how Dungeons and Dragons came to be. I should do this like NPR. Watch a professional work. Here is the ultimate record of how Dungeons and Dragons came to be. The making of original D&D is an extraordinary collection of rare documents that shed lights on D&D's origin story. Uncovered materials never released to the public, including Gary Gygax's first draft of the original D&D, and early published writings such as the 1974 original D&D white box booklets and supplements. Each document is featured alongside insightful commentary from one of the game's foremost historians, John Peterson. However, we here at Pop Talk Public YouTube wish to disclose this disclaimer. We Wizards recognize that some of the legacy content in this product does not reflect the values of the D&D Dungeons and Dragons franchise today. Some older content may reflect ethnic, racial, and gender prejudices that were commonplace in American society at that time. These depictions were wrong then and are wrong today. This content is presented as it was originally created because to do otherwise would be the same as claiming these prejudices never existed. Dungeons and Dragons teaches that diversity is strength, and we strive to make our D&D products as welcoming and inclusive as possible, unless you wear a red hat. This part of our work will never end. How was that? How was
Pretty much.
Right on? Right on? Right. And, actually, that disclaimer is what they do have on Drive-Thru RPG. That's the exact same fucking disclaimer. And I want to point out what ethnic. Oh, well, if he wants to join us, he can. He probably wants to put me in a timeout because the blood vessel's popping out. I don't know, but we'll leave it up to him. But honestly, I want someone to really honestly point out what racial, what gender prejudices were there. Oh yeah, I know. There were differences between men and women in the game. they reflected how men were a little bit tougher than the women, taller, tougher. Oh my God. Oh my God. How dare you? That's insulting. How dare you point out that there's differences between men and women? The making of original D&D is currently set to roll out into stores and bathrooms on June 18th. So,
in bathrooms.
well, I mean, it might irritate my bottom, but really, honestly,
man, the PBS news article and now this shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
I mean, this is done at least a few times now. We've seen this crap. Yep.
Yeah. This is why D&D is dying, and this is why there's rumors out there that Hasbro is going to dump D&D because it is becoming a cash cow. There's other systems out there that people are going to where they're not being threatened by this crap. And yeah, there's wokeness in Paizo with their Pathfinder and Starfighter. Yeah, there's some wokeness in there, but nothing like this. No pandering like this. They're still at the core. This is the game. I mean, why would you want to have this and be pandered to and then being told we don't want you to someone who's got wide open arms and say, come on over here. This is truly for everybody. It's your imagination. Come on, you got a brain. Or you want to be playing this?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, God, all the GURP books I got there. I love GURPS, by the way. That's a great game system. I know people don't like it, but I love it, especially the world books. I mean, they almost double as a primer of a primer book for histories and stuff like that because they're so well written. The Star Wars role playing games, all this stuff. I mean, honestly, why would I want to go with pandering D&D? This is why you're dying, and I hope they get sold, and I hope it goes to someone that loves the game, that loves. This should have been on Rumble. My apologies. I don't know why. I should have saved this for Rumble side
because
because
it doesn't matter.
Because you know what really pisses me off about this more than the fact that this is D&D and I love it so much? This is where you get kids, teenagers, even adults together, and it's their chance to be creative.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start limiting and insulting their ability to do that, you're stifling that free flow of thoughts and ideas. What can I do? What adventure I can have? You're stifling that.
Mm-hmm.
This is supposed to open the doors to this. Products of your imagination is what TSR had for their slogan. Products of your imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's products of our pandering. Yeah. Screw you, Wizards. Luke, Ernie, please get the money up. Buy it back. I mean, I wonder if they even interviewed them, honestly. Did they have the nerve to interview Ernie Gygax and Luke Gygax?
I don't know. Probably not.
Boy, if they would have started shooting their mouth off on this crap, they would hook them up to Roto-Rooter. And I'm sure they'd be afraid of even talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
We're coming close to that 2-hour line. I don't know. I don't know if I want to get into another story before going fully Rumble or not. Did you have any other thoughts about that? I know I kind of took over this part. My apologies. D&D. 3.0, the first one, 2000. I got the 3.5. Oh, look at that. Woo! Whoa, magic. We got elves. Here. Thank God we got the elves and not the gremlins. Well, of course, Phil's not here, so be thankful for our elves. But, Mike in the chat there, who's sitting back enjoying pina coladas, is right as he's listening to the show. Bullying is what happens on this very platform. Is it right? Hell no. It's never right, no matter who it is. This should never be about bullying. Just because you don't appreciate someone else's fantasy or product. Again, if I'm not big Power Rangers, right? I'm not into Power Rangers. It's not my thing, right? But I will defend to the hilt Power Rangers if they try to really start getting really screwy with it. With how the fans would be.
Yeah, I just find stuff weird, and I understand the masses don't care about a lot of stuff in Baldur's Gate 3 or Bear Gate 3.
Right.
But I'm sure there's other people obviously who do. And stuff like
right.
The Witcher, it's like, yeah, he's a womanizer and he's this, and but that's only part of his character. Only part of his character. Geralt is so much more than just a womanizer. Yeah.
Plus,
just like Kirk is so much more that he likes women. He's so much more than that. It just
the
one-dimensional characters are where you have a character that literally has no flaws. I don't care if it's a man or a woman. It's not ever going to be a very good character ever.
Well,
and people forget that.
Ray the Wonder Palpatine. Daisy really said herself, this character has no flaws. Well, that's why your character sucks. I'm not saying you do.
Right.
I'm just saying the character you have. If you're going to with that attitude, your character stinks to high heaven. Everything's got to have a flaw, even your characters. I mean, that's why you have weaknesses. You have strengths in each of these games. These games are supposed to balance each other out. Where one class and one race is strong in one area, they're going to be weak in another. That's where the other one picks up. That's what it's meant to be, teamwork. To be able to work together and realize that we are all different. We are not all the same. And with this inclusivity bullshit, all they're sitting back saying is we're nothing more than cookie cutter clones. And we're not. And they think it's bad that we do have differences, that we do have weaknesses. No, weaknesses is what helps builds us. It humbles us. It keeps us in line just as much as our strengths are.
Yes.
And then to realize that, okay, I have this weakness. Whoever is strong in it, I have to let my ego go and check and let them help me on that. How many of us have problems with that? I need help. How many of us have a trouble going out there saying, I need help? We're so pig-headed. But we have to realize we can't do this. Someone else can know. And I should ask that. It's not what I know, but who I know, as the old saying goes. And if I'm strong in this other area, don't lord it over. Don't be an a-hole. My God, my beard is kind of impressive, isn't it? I don't really see my beard much. I kind of do look like a dwarf, don't I? More than a pirate, maybe. A pirate dwarf. But before we move on here, and so I'm letting the elf know that we have that's helping us. The magical gnome, probably more like it. Before we go on, Catch, you have anything you have in store for the world of YouTube?
Well, I'm still working on some stuff, but we do have something coming up on Friday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we'll go over our talents and stuff because we can't let those rats kill us in Vermintide 2. Can't let that do it. They're going to have to pay. The rats and the chaos and Vermintide 2.
Why do they have to be rats?
That's right. Why do they have to be rats? Why do they have to be snakes? But they're not snakes, they're rats. Yeah.
Rats. And can't forget the chaos either. We got those chaos people.
Yes. We got the chaos.
Scumbags.
We're gonna come up with a better plan at Friday coming up at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Phantom Hooligans.
Yeah. And I'm hoping Animas. I don't know if you've heard of him. I'm hoping he's joining us.
I hope so. I hope he will.
I'm looking forward to that, and he better play the dwarf. I'm bullying him. You play the dwarf.
And then Sunday night at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Phil and I are going to start working on some Myth Force. So that should be fun for a few hours, maybe an hour or two, whatever. We'll see if we can get through episode 7. I'm sure we will.
Wait a moment. What are you trying to tell me? That you actually have fun spending time with Phil?
It can be a task, but yes, sometimes.
You're I just don't know what to say.
I know it's something, man. It's something.
Well, what I'll sit back and say is on the other side here, myself. Are you done, by the way?
Yeah. I'm done.
Yeah,
for
that's how
now.
I talk.
Yeah.
I'm talking to the microphone, but the camera's up here. So I'm just being
Right.
an absolute friggin' idiot because, yeah, I'm used to being on radio, but there's a camera here. So what the hell am I? What is the thing about cameras and microphones? I tell you.
Come on, man.
Yep. So I will sit back and see on Fandom Legacy. That's my channel. Saturdays, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. We will continue our little discussion on Babylon 5. That's right, Babylon 5, Season 4. We did get the 3 episodes last time. Phil McCracken was kind enough to really contribute a lot of interesting things to think about in that one. So I hope you'll be able to join me again, Phantom Legacy, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, or actually Central Daylight Time now. Ooh, yes. And of course, our colleague who's not here, of course, today was, of course, Pop Talk. Tomorrow, join our esteemed Mike from Pacific414 on this channel at 6 o'clock Eastern Time. And that's nighttime, not AM. He's going to continue on with his Mad Max gameplay. It's going to be part 7. And I told you guys, he is going to be driving the 1971 Gremlin, AMC Gremlin in this. And the reason why I'm talking this way is because that's where I have the script. So I probably should put the script over here. What's the thing about not looking at the camera? So, so join him and take part of watching Mad Max. Great game. It's about 10 years old. But, man, my first game I bought on Steam, and it's fantastic. It holds up. It's a very solid game. The graphics are still pretty damn good for being a 10-year-old game. The gameplay is solid. So you can get it if you see it, like it. It's not that expensive on Steam if you want to go that way. I encourage, if Mad Max is your type of thing, play the game. And, of course, definitely, please watch Mike. Of course, he's not going to have any streams on Friday or Saturday, according to this. Of course, on Friday, Mike will be with us on killing the rats in the chaos in there. Now, I know he has a member stream coming up.
Saturday, yeah.
Saturday. Okay, so he lied. He lied in that. He said no stream scheduled. There is a stream. He lied to me. He's making me look foolish, which is not hard to do, by the way. So, yeah, he's got his membership stream. So we invite members of Pacific414 out there. And I don't know if we actually have an actual name for us going on here. But in 2 days, it's on the 16th at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. So that'd be noon Eastern Time. So for the members of Mike's channel, please join us there. We're going to have fun. And it's an open panel. We don't have a subject. It's what you bring to it. So if you want to talk about basket weaving, just please make it interesting about basket weaving, okay? That's all we ask about. And it's just a grand old time. It's where we get together, we chew the fat and have fun. So I hope to see everybody there. I hope to see everybody going over the Rumble because that's where we're going right now. So I don't know. Is the link in the chat? Is the link in the chat? I don't know. What can I say? I don't know. Okay. But it should probably be in there. So please join us on Rumble. We even get more nuts in kooky over there. Please join us again Sunday at noon. I can't forget Sunday at noon, Pop Talk. Please join us for that as well. I don't know what we're talking about. Generally, when the news happens, we do it. And that's what we got. So before I go, I do want to say thank you to all the people here on the YouTube side. Our pros, Elliot here, T-Gap Steve, Big Daddy T-Gap. He joined us and had another exciting episode of Beverly Hills 414. Of course, the lovely Janet from Another Planet. Who did not pull out his wand for once, and we're very appreciative of that. One Philip McCracken of Release McCracken, everyone's favorite troll. Yeah, I guess so. Yes. We had FKHC 2005. He was here. Is he your favorite troll? I don't know. We had, of course, the master nerd, turtle nerder himself, DJ Reggie. And, of course, how can we not remember to acknowledge the Padawannabe, thank you for joining us. Thank you, everybody who's in the chat here on the YouTube side. Thank you to anyone who's going to watch this on the flip side. Please, like, share this out if you like it. Share it out if you don't like it. But you know what? Share this with your friends. Let them know that there's these crazy guys over here. We shoot our mouths off, and we don't like anything. And get the word out there. And be sure to like. We thrive on you. If it wasn't for you guys out there, you in the chat, you that are lurking, you that come back and watch us on the flip side, as like to say it, wasn't for you, we wouldn't be doing this. We love every single one of you. And for myself, and Cash, if you have a parting comment.
Yeah, we hate everything, and that's just how we feel now. We're not going to sugarcoat things on any of our channels. That's just not who we are.
Mm-hmm. Right. And a message I got from Mike: "Get me out of this fucking jail, you two clowns. Once I get out of here, you are in trouble." Okay, so that was Mike's farewell comment to everybody. So he says he loves you guys too. And with that, we'll move on